another guest that's coming on in a minute. That's Jay, and he's got a story to share with us. We've been online streaming for about just coming up 3 years now, end of March.
End of March is 3 years.
Yeah, and so Jay has a good story to tell us about how someone has stumbled across the stream.
So we're excited to chat to him.
Yeah.
So we'll get him in.
Jay, do you want to come on in?
He's in the waiting room.
He's in the waiting room. Come on in. Nice to see you. Oh, nice to see you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Are you live now?
Yeah, we're live now.
We're live, yeah.
This one over here.
This one here, yeah.
Morning.
So we don't know much about the story, but we're excited to hear about it.
Yeah.
So something about online streaming, someone found...
Yeah.
People live.
A mate of mine I used to work with 7 years ago actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll name him. Hey, Libbo. Anyway, so I mean.
Is he watching?
I don't know, but I might be. This is going back. So I worked with him, and then hadn't worked with him for 7 years, and hadn't really contacted him. But about a year ago, I think I preached here, and it was online and streamed. And a couple of months ago, he just rings me out of the blue, and he goes, "Oh, bro, I was like just going through YouTube, like at 10 o'clock last night, and seeing your face come up." And then he goes, "And I watched your message." He goes, "Bro, it was like awesome as." And he's, he's not a Christian or anything. He's, he's I always think he'll make the meanest Christian, because he's like just one of those awesome dudes, like just a massive fella, rock solid. Got a few little dramas like all of us, I suppose, but. So and he goes, "Oh, bro, listen to your message. It was hard to hear," and and he was, I just loved it so much. And so, sometimes you think when you're doing something, you're talking, or I'll see everyone this morning in worship down there. You just don't know who's listening, and you just think, you can see the people in front of you, but you just don't realise the impact that's happening after, with the live stream. And there's a lot of people who might be watching this right now, they're in 3 months time going through, and then that there's probably something in today's message for them, so you just never know. So that was probably more the situation.
Oh, that's
so,
cool. And have you been able to keep in touch with him? Is he?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's one of those. I spoke to him a little while ago, and he's, I'm gonna come. I'll bring my kids. So now I've named and shamed him. Then he needs to roll in. But I'm one of those. You just do you, and let people. I'm not like the old, if you don't get to church, you're gonna, your life's gonna fall apart. I think we all realise in our lifetimes things start to fall apart, so we get our lives right with God.
It's got to be on their own heart, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I might give them a little reminder, come along, what time it is and stuff. So
it's cool. It's a cool way of technology doing something good, isn't it?
Yeah. And you never know, like, what are the off chances that he was scrolling YouTube? And would he even be looking at church, or did it just pop up? You never know how God can kind of move in that.
Yeah, true.
Have we got some ads through on YouTube, if we might?
I wonder if the algorithms, these algorithms, and maybe he was, is God real?
And then he sees Jay. He's like, that fella.
So I always got on well with me. He's an awesome fella. So you just never know, I think.
It's cool. So it's cool hearing those stories. I mean, we've heard another story of a girl who was watching church online, and then next minute she turns up, and so it's amazing how many people you reach. And I think, last year we had a catch up with, it was for the Connect groups last year, and I remember Kent getting up and saying, "This is our numbers across the world, who's actually looking at our live stream and who's watching online church." And so that kind of set us back and went, whoa, it's amazing how much it's reaching.
I think there was even some in Russia or something, wasn't there? There was like a couple of little numbers down there, or up there, wherever it is.
I mean, even a couple that comes to our Connect group, are they from Waikanae? I'm talking about Daniel and Sarah. They watched online Peak Online, because they were moving to Hawke's Bay. And so that's kind of what brought them. Because they were watching Peak Online, and so that's what brought them here. So even though they were looking for churches,
It's
kind of led them this way.
It's always a bit scary. I mean, I struggle with the online stuff because, you know, when you're talking to all these faces, you know,
Yeah.
you got 200 or 300 people, but you know everyone, you know the kids and that. But when you're looking at a camera, like there was for old fella like me, over 50s, I'm like, there could be 1 million people, or or my boss, because I was a prison officer for 6 years. I was thinking, I got to be careful what I say because my boss could, if I share a little work story, I might get in trouble. So that was always a little bit, but I think it's just relaxing now. I just don't. Tennis not there.
I mean, when we first did Peak, we were intimidated by the camera for sure. It isn't. It's weird. It's really intimidating. Instead of just talking to person, and when you're talking to a camera, it's like, oh, how many people are watching? You can't see how many people are watching. You don't know how many people are tuning in. You're like, oh. But no, it's cool to be able to.
What is the
cool
time?
to be able to outreach.
So I've got to be up in a few minutes. I suppose you guys have got stuff to do.
Yeah, well, we've got Ken coming in.
Oh, sweet. Oh, you
Are you on worship today?
Yeah, I'm on worship today, so I'll see everyone in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Sweet, we'll let you shoot off.
Cool, man.
Thank you so much.
See you later.
Yeah, you'll be able to see Jay worshipping.
Yeah. So if you stay tuned.
Yeah, if you stay tuned, you'll be able to see the worship. You'll be able to see Kent's message coming up. So stay tuned, and you'll be able to see all that.